you have to be careful and not, look like you're angry with them. And then another comment that your judge made, and this is just something that's in practice, is the court reporter would have thrown her stapler at you because they are trying to take down everything that's said, and they can't, and it messes up your record. So if this case were to go up on appeal, you may have a really bad record because when the two are talking at the same time, they just can't get it both down. So that's something you have to think about as a trial attorney, that everything you're doing, you want the record to be very clear. And you guys were all really good about saying, I'm publishing to the jury, I'm handing this to the judge. A lot of attorneys that we practice with don't do that. They run around, they hand stuff. Maybe they bring copies, maybe they don't, but they certainly may not express it on the record to let the court and the record reflect that, hey, they had a copy of this and they were following along with me. So you were all very, very good about that. You were also really good at courtroom movement, which I think is really awkward, and maybe you've practiced this and maybe the coaches have worked with you. I think getting up and moving around and handing stuff is awkward, but you all did that very, very well. So I applaud you on that. I've seen sometimes that's difficult even for people that have practiced as long as I do. They get things mixed up and they can't find things and they're shuffling around and they're handing the wrong things every which way. And, nobody did that, so that was really good. With regard to the use of your exhibits, one thing that you've got to think about is the person that you really want to see that exhibit sits over here. And sometimes it was a little hard for us to see exactly what was on that board. So think about it. It's kind of difficult because you want your witness to see it, but you really want us to see it. And I even had a trial one time that they did, I can't even remember the details, but they blocked my exhibit. The jury couldn't even see it, and I had to get up and physically move things. So you always have to be conscious of what the jury is seeing. The other thing that you have, and this is, these are all comments that I would give practicing attorneys. I can't believe that you guys are high school students, but juries watch everything. We watch who's yawning, who's whispering to each other, what's happening. So you have to be really cognizant that even if you're not the examining attorney, that they're watching you. So, be very, very cautious of your movements. Not so much in this kind of an exercise, but if you guys do, go on to law school, that's something that you really need to think about because you're on stage. And there's nothing more exhausting than a jury trial day. You go home that night and you just fall apart because you've been on point all day. We can go. What I think we'll do is I'm going to let him make Austin, right?
Yep.
Austin make his general comments, and then I took lots of notes. If anybody wants to know particularly about some of the things they did, there were some objections that I thought were missed. There were some that were made. One thing in the closing that I really liked, and I, just sitting in the jury box, is I think the defense thanked us for our time. And, we just sat here, a couple hours. Some of these people sit here for days and days and days. And, to be recognized and to be appreciated is really important that you made it. And you made a very sincere effort at doing that. That was very good.
I just have a couple things that kind of apply to everybody. And to start, let me say, it takes a lot of confidence and a lot of courage to get up and do what you guys just did. You're about 7 or 8 years ahead of where I was. I didn't do that for the first time until I was in law school. So, it's incredible to sit here and watch you guys do this and to think that you guys are only in high school. That's a pretty cool deal. So you guys should all be, very proud of what you're doing, and it's a cool deal. And I may say what they just said because I was running down the scores. And this applies to kind of everybody. Everybody can be a little bit louder, a little bit stronger, a little bit more confident. And that's just going to come with practice. And, like I said, you're ahead of the game right now doing it. Some of you, and again, this is hard because you're so familiar with the fact pattern. You've been looking at this for I don't know how long, but I can assume it's been a very long time. Some of it looks just scripted. It looks like it's just very, we've practiced this a million times. It's a little bit easier to judge if it looks more, comfortable and not scripted. So that goes for everybody. That goes for, defense, prosecution, witnesses. If you can do your best to try to, kind of step back a bit, it's easier to kind of, watch for everybody. A couple people did this, and a lot of you didn't. Introduce yourselves. Sometimes I was, trying to, okay, who is this and who are they with, and and give your witness a chance to really, kind of introduce themselves. Sometimes they did, like I said, but there were times where I was like, okay, who's this and what are they doing? this is kind of this is a tough thing to do. In all your questions and everything you say, keep in mind your end goal and an end roadmap. You know, what are you getting at? What's the point of this question? I thought there were some questions where, you know, I was scratching my head. Why are they asking this? What's the point? Are they just rambling through all the facts just to ramble through? You know, try to have a purpose for what I'm asking. Sometimes I think there were opportunities for you guys to really hammer home a point. You know, I know why you're asking the question, you know, but I've read through the fact pattern. I know, you know, what's going on. You guys had an opportunity to really hammer it home or really emphasize something. A lot of times it didn't happen. So do that through a change of tone of the voice, or, you know, change, you know, some of you tried, I could tell, to speed it up a little bit, you know, but really hammer it home. Just got a couple things, sorry.
While he's looking, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Ann Hansborough, and I practiced law downtown for several years at a big firm, and I'm now up in Parkville in a little small office, still practicing law in Platte County. But so I've, you know, been in this courtroom and lots of courtrooms for years and years, and again, it just makes me in awe of what you guys are doing in high school.
I'll introduce myself. My name's Austin Dowling. I am actually, I just passed the bar in October, took it in July, so I'm very new at this, so I'm pretty new. Just a couple other things. Some of you, I think, had a little bit of trouble with the hearsay. You know, you said to prove the truth of the matter asserted. You know, no, he's not. Yes, he is. You know, think about what he's saying. You know, don't just say this is hearsay, and you know, think about what they're trying to prove with that statement, and really kind of know what you're trying to say there. You don't always have to use the language in the fact pattern. I don't know how many times I heard burn the candle at both ends. You know, you can say that 300 different ways, you know. Just you don't always have to use the language that's, you know, in the fact pattern. That's kind of the catchphrase, and so it really jumps out at you if you're always using it. And then finally, last thing, this is a big thing for anybody that decides to go into law and go to law school. Don't hide the ball. Tell us what you're getting at. You know, if you've got a witness up there and you know you're trying to draw the conclusion, you know, that this is a great example. I didn't know what you guys were getting at with the film canister until it just clicked in my own mind. I didn't know, you know, what you were getting at. You know, oh, she's in the photo club. Why are they bringing this up? I have no idea. And then I think it took the second or third time before it was brought up that I was like, okay, she had access to, you know, photography equipment. You know, hammer that home. You know, so don't hide the ball from me. Let me know what you're getting at. Okay? But otherwise, I thought, I mean, it was pretty impressive. I just, you know, that's a pretty cool deal. So that's all I got. Again, I made individual notes if you care to know about individual stuff. I'm a harsh critic, probably because I just got out of law school. So it is what it is.
Are you guys are you all interested in going into law, or do you know yet?
Most definitely.
Cool.
Shout out somebody. You
Yes.
know, because it's not all jury trials. And that's, my name is Chris Sweeney, by the way. I've been practicing about 17 years now, and started off at a big firm, and now my brother-in-law and I have our own practice out south. And we do just civil stuff. We don't do any criminal. So the criminal is a little bit out of my area, and one thing with the objection, so from the judge's perspective, if you had overruled on an objection that you thought was right, you might ask the question again a different way, draw the objection again. And the one that's sticking out in my brain right now that I think, after I heard the close, I thought, I probably should have let the creatine in. Okay, so...
And she tried to ask it another way, too.
You did. And I just jumped the objection that time. When someone objected, I just jumped it, said sustained. Judge, may we approach? And lay it out. It's kind of the hide the ball thing. Look, he was using creatine, or she, and then she had to advance up to the net. That's the point of this question.
Kid couldn't stay awake.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'll allow it. You know, and sometimes, you know, the judge will just bark at you more. You can do that, but it's just, that's all the judge can do is bark at you a little more. Sometimes when the jurors see the judge barking at you, they kind of feel bad for you, and then all of a sudden,
And that's the line. I mean, that really is.
Exactly.
Because if the judge gets mad at you, then the jury